Hey, what's going on? It's Dave, Nuvolve Music, and we are here with a very special guest, Fabian Dubz. What's going on?
What's going on, Dave? Pleasure to do this interview with you.
How are you, man? How are you? Are you good?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. For what you can call this kind of time we're in. Mate, it's just been about the music. I'm not gonna lie, but obviously keeping all cylinders moving as well. As best as can be. But all good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, really good. The sun is shining. We've had positive news. It looks like we might have a summer. And I'm talking to you. So let's find out your story, really, because you landed on Nuvolve with no good. But I've come here to ask you, what is good? What is good right now? What's making you smile right today?
Well, do you know what? That's still making me smile. It's, no good was good for me. I think just going through a different route. Obviously, I was DJing a lot before lockdown and stuff, and I never really had time to do music. And as to the level I've done quite a few remixes. Been working on loads of original stuff. So I've tried to keep it all good, and that's what's been like the main thing. Obviously, with the family as well, getting time to spend because I have a baby in lockdown.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
In May last year. And yeah, so I've had a lot, thank you, by the way. I've had a lot to kind of, keep me feeling good, a lot to reflect on as well. So yeah, man.
Go on, that's wicked. We all need those silver linings and just finding the positives, even in a negative situation. That's what we've got to do, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Man, cool. So you're new on Nuvolve, but you're not new to the game at all. So before Fabian Dubz, there was TremoreFire Dubz, wasn't there? So take us back. Give the viewers a little bit of a potted history of your career, because you've been in the game for a bit now.
Yes, and it was. Do you know what? I will apologise. My dog just started barking. Like you said, this summer, so all doors are open and everything's going on at the moment. But yeah, I've 20 years-ish in the industry. TremoreFire Dubz was how I came in, and really just latched onto the love of UKG. I came in at an era where people were pressing up white label bootlegs, which were normally like R&B, like big R&B remixes. And, it was that kind of era where a lot of that kind of stuff went together. So I jumped on the bandwagon, as they say, and just fell into it. And it became a really good and quick experience. I kind of got into it quickly and just took off from there, really.
Go on, that's wicked. Because a lot of these tracks, a lot of these white labels, they would end up north on the niche scene, wouldn't they? That was where a lot of the tunes became really popular.
Very much, yeah. I mean, I didn't realize even the name TremoreFire Dubz, and for people, there's going to be a lot of people who don't know how that derived. And we've got an area basically in Cardiff where I'm from called TremoreFire. Kind of in-house, it wasn't the best alias, but outside Cardiff, the name was bigger than what I knew. It took me a few years to really get to know how that name blew up and latched on and became like a household name of bassline and UKG.
Go on, that's amazing. That's really cool. And for you to have found out about that afterwards, because everything now is instant on the internet, whether something is popping or not straight away. But for that news to trickle back to you and to you to find that out later on must have been a really interesting experience.
It was, Dave, because I was just going with the flow, and I didn't really have. Oh, I'm going to get to this place. It was a big bubble for me, which is a big garage term, and I just kind of, when you get feedback, I think the most important thing about it is it does kind of make you feel, oh right, a lot of people like my stuff. I'm going to carry on doing it, and I was in that give and take situation where. The feedback eventually did get back to me, and it kind of fueled me just to keep it going,
Go on, that's wicked. I mean, you mentioned Cardiff now. I'm also from Cardiff as well and grew up in a neighbourhood just by TremoreFire in Splot. But Cardiff, South Wales actually plays a really integral part in the UKG movement, didn't it? Around the early 2000s, South Wales was a bit of a hotspot for garage. And I don't think that's kind of overlooked really in the history of garage. But there was lots of stuff going on with Richie Vibe B and Catapult Records and stuff like that, wasn't there?
There was, yeah. I mean, and this is no bias, even from our point of view. The whole country, the whole UK, travelled to Cardiff on a weekly basis. We used to have lineups of 15 garage acts and BBC live events, and they were just set up like on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and we had like La Cosa Nostra, Twice as Nice, stuff like that.
We had the
Sidewinder events.
The full circle of promoters that did their thing here and abroad were in Cardiff as well every single week. And it was pure vibes, pure vibes.
Definitely, man. And you were soundtracking a lot of that. You were soaking that up and then you were making the white labels. You were known for bootlegs. So, I mean, what is the secret? What is your secret? Because it does seem like you could turn any classic tune into a bassline banger. And going back through loads of the TremoreFire Dubz, like, what is the secret to that? What's the secret to an awesome bootleg?
Do you know what? I've often asked myself this because, even following on from that, I kind of got to the stage where I thought, have I been remixing too long? But I just liked to experiment with, I think it was that vocal, because most of them were vocal kind of tunes, or if they were sample based, I'd build it around that with a big bassline drop. But I just liked to change things and to transfer sounds onto UKG, and I kind of just got the infectious love for doing that. And of course, the feedback, the whole thing kind of just kept running,
Definitely. It's like the melting pot of jungle and drum and bass, really. Garage did a very similar thing where you could throw anything into it. You could throw any influence you're feeling, whether it's the most sugary sweet sound or the most futuristic, darkest, gulliest sound, and you put it into a garage context, it works. And it's just like, it's the canvas. UKG is the canvas for anybody to throw whatever colors they want at, really. And as long as they're from the heart, that's what counts, isn't it?
Definitely. And this is, this is shown by how we're sat here today talking about UKG, being involved with big people in the scene like EZ and Nuvolve. And, it has lived the test of time, and, there's quite good things happening in the moment.
Oh, I'm wicked. Talking of goods, tell us about No Goods, because that track comes from the heart, and it's probably one of your biggest records as Fabian Dubz so far, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And you know what? When you asked me about what's been good in the lockdown, I think this No Good record as really it's I wouldn't say it's been a test for me, but the guys approached me and said, look, we're doing this, but not fully disclosing what this was. And I just went for it. I kind of digged as deep as I could. The beat was actually bubbling for a little while. And it kind of came from a vocal, a different vocal. And everything just more or less fitted together. I sourced vocals that were very, very kind of, I would say, rich in flavor, and yeah, the rest is history, really.
Lovely. So what are those tunes that kind of come together naturally, almost like you're out of control of the tune is in control of you?
Yeah, totally. It's I mean, we made that handshake, and even when I got the track over to the guys, that could have been a very different record, because there were certain angles I presented that record to them, and I think obviously from their point of view, they could see my vision, and that's all you need really, is for someone to kind of get something at the right time, sounds absolutely banging, and that's what I went for.
Yeah, that's amazing. You've obviously had lots of DJs playing your records over the years, but what's it like when you've got EZ playing your record? I mean, I remember hearing this on the 24-hour marathon, and and it was part of that first release. It's got to be a good feeling. Another silver lining during lockdown.
Totally. Do you know what? There's a funny story about this, because obviously with my little one, So at the time it was played, the first time it was played in the 24-hour stream, Paul messaged me and said, "Oh, we've got something special for you," and I'd missed it, so I had to kind of do a little bit of a reload, just like he did, and that's what it was. It was like the first reload of the whole stream, and that teamed up with the fact that I've made the track. The track on its own was brilliant anyway, but then going across to EZ and Nuvolve, and then, you know, we're in this harmonious moment of lockdown and the 24-hour stream, totally blew me away. Totally blew me away. Special moments.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. That's amazing. Cool. So, I mean, is there anybody else on Nuvolve with everything else going on? You know, have you had time to pay attention to the other releases on the label? Is there anyone else you're feeling on the label at the moment?
Definitely. Do you know what? Such a good EP, the whole EP. Obviously, being a long-time fan of Todd Edwards, he inspires me till this day. You know, I hear new material, and even the release on Nuvolve from him, absolutely amazing. Just gives me inspiration. MPH Shosh and Eddie Craig. Eddie Craig, obviously from back in the day, he's another inspiration. Jeremy Sylvester as well. There's quite a few people, obviously, that are doing things right now, but even on that first release, I'm feeling all those artists, you know.
Yeah, and it was a great snapshot. It's a cross section of exactly kind of where the scene is at, with all of the generations and everybody working together on this beautiful thing that we call UKG. So what is coming up from you next?
So I'm just doing, I think it's a bit of a time where I think we need to be clever about how we release music, even though we need to keep it flourishing. So even over the last few months after No Good, I've been doing remixes here and there, some popular remixes that have had similar, if not the same, support. And obviously I've been working on my own kind of stuff as well. I've teamed up with a few vocalists. I've done a few bassline, sort of instrumentalist sounding tracks. So there is quite a lot on its way from myself.
Go on, wicked. We've got all of that to look forward to. That's awesome. So have you got time to play a very cheeky little game?
I have.
Awesome, man. I'm going to spit some pairs at you, and you have to pick one. You can't stall or anything like that. You just have to pick one. You got to go with your heart. I'm going to start right now. Sweet or savory? Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Oh, nice. 4/4 or two-step?
Oof. It's gotta be 4/4.
Unofficial bootleg or official remix?
Unofficial bootleg.
Yeah. Vocal or instrumental?
Ooh, I love a good instrumental though.
Yeah, more versatile. You can play with them then, but a vocal is super sweet as well. These are really hard. Soul or funk?
Jeez. Soul.
House or techno?
House.
Sea shanties or barbershop quartet? This is the hardest one.
Barbershop quartet.
Clubs or festivals?
Clubs.
Yes. Lion King or Tiger King?
Do you know what? What's Tiger King?
Oh man, that was lockdown 1, right at the very start of lockdown 1, a Netflix program that everybody got crazy about.
Oh, did they? It's got to be Lion King.
Yeah,
Probably too late to answer that.
Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
Night owl or early riser?
Night owl.
Awesome, man. Cool. And the final one, a cheeky takeaway delivered to your doorstep or cook up a feast of your own in the kitchen?
It's got to be more the cook-off. I'm a cook-off type of guy, man.
Yeah.
Cook-off all the way.
Same here. Awesome, man. Well, I'm going to leave you to cook some more beats up in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, Fabian Dubz.
Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure. And then take care, mate.
Awesome. Nice one.